What up, guys? It's Friday, April 9th, 2010. And the first thing I want to talk about today is Tiger again. And he's only two back of the leader today at Augusta, which I think is amazing. I mean, as I said in previous videos, doubted him, to even make top 10. Not even be in contention to win. So that he's two back is amazing. I mean, he's just playing well. He had some outbursts, but you have to. Alright, if you've played golf ever, you'll realize that you have to have outbursts in order to play golf. Like, if you play golf, you know that you're going to get pissed off at least one time. Alright, I kind of find myself rooting for Tiger. I mean, I say that reluctantly. I want him to win for a couple reasons. One, it'll prove that everybody else that plays golf is just A, afraid of Tiger, and B, worse than Tiger. Worse than Tiger after Tiger hasn't played for, like, a lot of time off. Like, he hasn't played in a while, and people are still losing to him. That just shows how dominant he is in his sport. That's what I want. That's one reason why I want him to win. Another reason is we can shift the media focus away from his personal life and back to his golf game. Because I liked focusing on Tiger's golf game because it's frankly amazing. I didn't get to live through Arnold Palmer or Jack Nicklaus. I didn't get to live through that. So to see Tiger golf, for me, is like my generation's great golfer. So I want him back on top of his game, so that's why I want him to win. Do I approve of his transgressions of the past? No, not at all. I mean, that's not a good thing to do at all. But do I want him to win at golf? Yes. Segue into another guy that in sports that has been having some extracurriculars off the field. It looks like Tiki Barber, former Giants running back, has been cheating on his pregnant wife. This is like right up there with John Edwards cheating on his wife that had cancer. I mean, this is just despicable. To cheat on your wife is a terrible thing to do, first of all. But while she's pregnant with your kid, that's like, that's so sick and wrong. I used to have respect for Tiki. I thought he's kind of a dick. Like, I'm not gonna lie, when he was playing, I thought he was kind of a dick. But now that this happened, definitely that opinion has been solidified. So not a good job, Tiki. I don't know what NBC's gonna do, how they're gonna address that. We'll see how that plays out in the near future. Gotta talk about the playoffs, NBA playoffs, soon to be playoffs. It's getting exciting, folks. If you haven't been watching the regular season this last week or so, you need to start watching. First thing, in the East, pretty much everything is solidified except the 8th spot. And that 8th spot is tied right now between Chicago and Toronto. And they actually play on Sunday. They play each other on Sunday. So that's a must watch, alright? Toronto holds the tiebreaker, but Chris Bosh is going to be out for at least the regular season. I would say, in my opinion, first round if they made the playoffs, which they're probably going to play Cleveland, so I don't think he'll be back. Maybe, though. I hope for the sake of that series, if they do indeed make the playoffs, he is back. But right now, for the rest of the regular season, these last 4 games, I got to give the edge to the Bulls. They just had a big win last night over Cleveland, even though LeBron didn't play. And they just have more talent now that Chris Bosh is gone from Toronto on their roster. And I think they're peaking. I guess you can call it peaking since they still kind of suck at the right time. Also in the West, could shake up a lot these last few games. Phoenix and Dallas are tied for 3rd. I think Dallas holds the tiebreaker, if I'm not mistaken. But they play the Trailblazers tonight, and the Trailblazers are currently tied for... They're all tied 6 through 8. Alright? It's the Trailblazers, Oklahoma City, and San Antonio. They're all tied from 6 to 8. So that could be a shakeup. If Portland beats Dallas, then Dallas will fall to fourth place in the West, and then Portland will be, I think, solidified at sixth. And if Dallas wins, then they'll move up back up to second, and Portland will fall to at least seventh. I'm pretty sure. So that we gotta watch those games too. So big NBA stuff coming up. All right, we gotta watch that. In my opinion, I think Dallas is gonna finish third. That's my opinion. I know they're my team, but I think they're gonna finish third because it looks like Denver's on a roll right now. I mean, Carmelo got knocked out and then came back and still playing lights out. So I think that they're gonna end up in second, and Dallas in third. For the 6 through 8, this is how I picture it finishing out. All right, I picture the 6th spot going Oklahoma City because I feel like they're the hottest team right now. And then 7, San Antonio, Portland 8th. I think Portland loses tonight, and they're gonna fall back to 8th. But Portland, kind of a tough matchup for the Lakers from the 1-8 spot. I mean, if you think about it, Marcus Camby can take care of Andrew Bynum and the size of Pau Gasol inside. And then Andre Miller, who sometimes just goes off for 53, no big deal. And then they have Brandon Roy, who's one of the best closers in the game, one of the best players in the Western Conference. They could be a dangerous team. All right. And then that would end up having Denver play San Antonio. Another intriguing matchup. I think Denver wins it pretty easily just because of athleticism. I mean, San Antonio might squeak out 1 or 2 just because Ginobili can go off for 25 or 30 and Duncan can have a good double-double. I mean, and you get Tony Parker back. The only issue with that is fitting him back into the rotation. That's always a tough thing to do in basketball, fitting guys back into the rotation. We saw it last year with the Orlando Magic and trying to put back Jameer Nelson in. Didn't really work out. So they need to figure out how to do that before they even think about beating Denver. But I don't think that's going to happen. So then that would mean that Dallas would play Oklahoma City, which I'm afraid of. I'm afraid of Oklahoma City as a Dallas fan because Kevin Durant can just be like, I'm going to score the basketball right now, at any time during the game. And Dirk, I love Dirk. Ask anybody I know. I love Dirk. He's my favorite player. But sometimes I doubt his shot choices. Sometimes those fadeaway jumpers don't really look good if they don't go in. All right, so if we get hot like we did once we made the Caron Butler trade, I think that will be fine. I think ultimately Dallas wins the series, but it'll be close. It'll be pretty close. So those are my first predictions of the NBA playoffs. More predictions to come tomorrow in concerns with the East and the remaining West teams. More predictions tomorrow. All right, the last thing I want to talk about is the Butler coach getting a 12-year extension, which pretty much eliminates him from being in contention for any of the high-name jobs. So, and I'm glad that he did that because I hate when coaches little programs kind of build them up and then leave, like Brian Kelly. I don't really like that because I like the good coach at a small school because it gives them a fighting chance, So I'll close with a new segment I have. It's called Raise Your Hand If You Think. Going back to my roots as a little kid, used to play that all the time with everybody. So today's question will be, raise your hand if you think Tiger's going to win the Masters, all right? So in the comments section, put hand up or hand down, and we'll take a little poll that way. All right, but final thing before I sign off, shout out to my ladies, Stephanie and Katie. Hopefully we'll have a good time this weekend. Nothing dirty intended. But I'll see you guys tomorrow.